What if Brain Free's biggest twist wasn't in the script, but hidden in a single frame? Today, we're exposing the secret even the director tried to bury. The film begins with an aerial view of an island where a biotech company is responsible for maintaining a luxurious golf club. Their latest invention is a special type of fertilizer that melts snow in winter and keeps the grass green year-round, ensuring that the wealthy can enjoy playing golf regardless of the season. But the next day, we meet Dan, a security guard who's hoarding supplies in his house. Influenced by a doomsday radio show that warns listeners to always be prepared for disaster, Dan practices survival techniques like lighting a fire without matches, using gunpowder, which ends up exploding in his face and slightly burning him. Meanwhile, Dan's daughter, who works as a helper at the golf club, is present when the biotech company's head shows off the lush golf course to a wealthy couple. He proudly credits the vibrant grass to the company's fertilizer. However, beneath the surface, a disaster is brewing. The fertilizer has seeped into the soil and contaminated the island's public water supply. An actor unknowingly drinks the infected water, then visits a supermarket where produce washed in tap water adds to his exposure. He soon feels dizzy, but dismisses it. Upon returning home, he sees his teeth turning green and suffers intense stomach pain. He rushes to the bathroom, collapses, and transforms into a zombie. He bites his wife, infecting her as well, and the couple sit in their bathtub with clouded green eyes back at the golf club. The company head and the rich couple arrive at the main building and find it eerily empty. A frantic worker appears, warning them that people are turning into zombies and urging them to flee. Chaos erupts as workers, now zombies, chase them. A dog also appears and, despite the woman's gesture to call it, attacks and bites her. Her husband and the company head fend off the dog, but it's too late. She becomes a zombie. They retreat into the building, lock the doors, and isolate the dog. But the woman's husband is bitten and soon turns into a zombie too, forcing the company head to defend himself with a kitchen knife. Meanwhile, Dan receives a call from an old woman about loud noises from her neighbors. When he investigates, he finds the neighbors and the woman herself have become zombies. He narrowly escapes in his car and, while trying to contact his daughter, sees the streets overrun with zombies. His daughter, meanwhile, is fighting off the infected and cannot answer his calls. Determined to save her, Dan retrieves his gear and leaves. We then meet André, a young boy making milk for his sister. He reaches for tap water, but his mother intervenes, telling him to use bottled water. She begins to feel dizzy and soon transforms into a zombie, attacking André. He escapes but stumbles. Just as she's about to bite him, Dan appears and hits her with his car. André is shocked and tries to help his mother, but Dan tells him there's no time for emotions and urges him to hide quickly. As Dan leaves, André, unable to abandon his mother, drags her into the house and locks all the doors. He calls the police, but receives a video warning that the entire island is overrun with zombies. The bridge connecting the island to the mainland has been sealed off by police to prevent escape. Inside, André's zombified mother tries to attack his sister. He locks her in the bathroom, where she becomes mesmerized by the water and sits in the tub. André tries to muffle his sister's crying with clothes so that the zombies outside won't hear her. Eventually, they leave. His cat returns, but so does a zombie, prompting André to run. When he returns with a golf club, the zombie starts moving again, forcing André to hide. Dan's daughter is trapped in a garage and calls her father. He arrives, kills and injures several zombies, and clears a path to save her. Meanwhile, the army begins bombing infected zones, causing widespread power outages. The next morning, André's sister's caretaker sees the destroyed bridge and turns back, realizing the city is lost. André records zombies from the window. A press conference plays on his phone, where the defense minister claims the situation is under control. But the scene outside contradicts that. As his phone dies, he checks on his mother, now covered in green slime with glowing eyes. When she tries to attack her daughter, André distracts her with her favorite vegetable, luring her to the lounge, where a TV falls on her, crushing her head. He drags her back to the bathroom, noticing grass growing on her wounds. Using a ladder, he peers outside and sees hordes of zombies that, fed up with hiding, André straps his sister into a sling, arms himself with a golf stick, and opens the door. The zombies get distracted by the cat, and André slips out unnoticed. He runs to nearby buildings, but they're all locked. Surrounded by zombies, he is saved when Dan pulls him into a store. Dan has been living there, well-stocked, but without a real plan. With boats gone and swimming too dangerous, escape seems impossible. That André discovers Dan's zombified daughter, whom he has locked away, hoping for a cure. At the golf club, the trap company head contacts his company, which sends help under strict conditions. He encounters a zombie dog again and throws it away. Dan and André listen to the same radio program, where it suggested that terrorists may be behind the outbreak. A defense minister evades questions, and Dan suspects something's off. They investigate and discover that the infection spreads through tap water. They leave the store, taking Dan's daughter with a cage over her head. Along the way, they see zombies with green ooze. A zombie girl attacks Dan, but he hesitates to kill her. They escape in a car. Meanwhile, twin sisters, armed and trained, arrive at the golf club and fight through zombies. The company head burns incriminating documents but keeps a sample of the fertilizer, hoping to reuse it. That he steals the sisters' bag containing round-shaped pills, the cure. The sisters catch him, force-feed him the sample, and drag him away. At the water plant, they leave André's sister in the car and bring Dan's daughter inside. A zombie in the tank draws her in, and she jumps into the water. Dan follows, and as the zombie moves to attack him, he uses his daughter as a shield. This causes the zombie to hesitate, revealing that zombies don't attack each other. That André, realizing this, distracts the zombies and escapes. Dan pulls his daughter out, but her arm detaches. Using her as a shield, he avoids the zombies and gets in the car. André hears a phone ring. It's Dan's daughter's phone. Using her severed hand, he unlocks it and notices grass growing on her wounds, indicating a link to the fertilizer. The twin sisters release the cure balls on the golf course to eliminate evidence. Dan and André see the smoke and record everything. At the club, they secure Dan's daughter and make a bed for André's sister. While exploring, they find the same dog, now with grass growing on it. Dan feels dizzy, and André finds his sister missing. Dan enters a room rigged with bombs, but manages to deactivate the timer using his daughter's hand. However, he too begins transforming into a zombie. The sisters are puzzled by the lack of explosion and return, finding André's sister. They try to force-feed André the fertilizer, but his zombified sister bites one of them. Dan attacks the other to end the chaos. André steps on a cue ball, releasing its smoke. Dan and André's sister begins to recover, but Dan, still under the infection's influence, chases André, who runs into the kitchen. But just as Dan realizes, so, genius twist or total nonsense? Fight it out below. Down arrow, and if you spotted a detail we missed, drop it in the comments. Prove us wrong. Thanks for watching.